Hey everybody, today I'm going to be showing you my Friendsgiving frosted cookies, but before we get started, please subscribe to Food Network's YouTube channel right here. The first thing we're going to do is make our cookie dough. And the thing that you want to do before you even get started is get that butter at room temperature. This butter is just going to bend. That goes into my mixer. We're going to add our sugar, and then we're going to cream the butter and the sugar together, okay? Creaming, not whipping, just bringing the butter and the sugar together. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes. Because too much air is going to make your cookies do what? Be flat. All right, this is looking pretty good. Now what you want to do is take your rubber spatula and scrape down the sides to make sure that everything gets incorporated. This is good. Now, the next thing we're going to do is all about the flavor. We have vanilla. Vanilla brings all of those rounded notes. Vanilla is to cookies what salt is to steak. We have some almond, half the amount of vanilla. Almond extract, a little goes a long way. And we're going to add salt. Sweet things need salt. We talk about it all the time on the baking shows. Now, if you wanted to, you could change your flavor profile. You don't have to use the almond. You could use whatever extract you want. All right, here we go. I'm mixing up the extracts until I don't see any streaks of color. Now, we're gonna get our dry ingredients together. I already have my flour in this bowl. I am adding pumpkin pie spice. You have nutmeg, you have cinnamon, you have ginger, you have allspice, you have all of these flavors in one container. Now I'm going to add my dry ingredients into my butter sugar mixture, a half cup at a time. I also have some water on standby just in case the dough is too dry, okay? And it looks a little dry, but don't worry. The thing is you don't want to add too much liquid because you can't take it out. Okay, this is coming together. As soon as your dough actually stops being sort of clumped, it's ready. All right. I don't think I needed any water. I think it's all, and this is a great test. Just come in here, pinch it together, and if it's holding, it's perfect. I'm gonna put a little bench flour down. Crumbly is where you wanna be. Okay. I just make a ball. I'm gonna cut this right in half, just like that. And then I'm gonna flatten it to little squares, and then I'm gonna wrap it up and let it rest for about an hour. And those of you who think you can cut corners, don't do it here. This is not the time to cut corners. The thing that you wanna do is let your dough rest, because the gluten's rest, you won't have a tough cookie, and also, all of those flavors and the texture that you need to roll your cookies out. So have you ever done a cookie and then your cookies shrank or that they didn't hold the edge? That's what happens when you don't let the dough rest. We're gonna pop it in the fridge for an hour. I'll be right back. All right, our dough has chilled. All right, so we have our dough. I have my rolling pin. I've put guides on my rolling pin. I'm gonna roll the dough out like 1/4 inch thick. It looks hard now, but you don't want soft dough. You've worked so hard to get that butter nice and cold. So it's a little loud. It's a little bit of a workout, and I don't worry about things breaking like that. It's okay. I just press down like this, press down, turn. I just make sure that my dough can move. All right, this is looking pretty good. All right, now we're just gonna cut. I have 2 cutters. I've got some leaves and I've got some pumpkins. Any fall shape will do. So when you press directly through to the cutting board and do a little wiggle jiggle, okay? You see how nice that looks? And this is the side that is going down. I have a sheet pan here with parchment paper, and I just place that cookie on like that, and then we just keep cutting. So you all see how to cut your cookies out. I want to show you really quickly what you have to do. I'm not going to re-roll my dough, but I do want to show you what you have to do when you get ready to re-roll your dough, because I think this is what happens at home. They start scrunching it up. You don't want to do that. So I deliberately take my dough and I stack it. You don't want to ball it up. You don't want to overwork the dough. So this is what you're going to do. All right, and you just keep going. Now, my oven is set at 350 degrees. I am going to cook my cookies for 14 minutes. Halfway through the cooking time, I'm going to turn the pan. All right, so our cookies are out. We are cooling them on a rack. Before you decorate your cookies, you absolutely want to make sure that they are cool, cool, cool. So now we're gonna make our frosting. My butter is chilled. We used room temperature butter for the cookies, but I want to use cold butter cut into smaller pieces for the frosting because it actually holds its structure. Admittedly, it's much easier with a stand mixer, but you can do this with a handheld mixer. Some maple extract, this is so good. And I also have some heavy cream. That's going to make things a little easier. And the reason that I'm putting the cream into the cold butter now is because as that butter gets incorporated, everything comes together at once. Before you start putting the powdered sugar in, you want to make sure that the butter and the cream is all smooth. Right now, I can hear that the butter is still cold, and there is this magic moment when all of a sudden it smooths out. I don't have to even look at the bowl. I will know when this happens. It's almost there. Totally smooth. Who's impressed? Who's impressed? Anybody impressed? Okay. You all can't see the hands up, but the hands are going up. It looks so good. So now I have a 1/4 cup measure. I'm gonna gradually add my powdered sugar to this mixture on low because we don't want powdered sugar all over the place. This is looking so good. Let me show you where we are right now. Look at that. We still have structure. All right. We have our frosting. I'm gonna grab my color. A little goes a long way. I'm gonna add a couple drops liquid to your frosting. All right, this looks good. And you get a little workout. But I'm gonna say this frosting is smooth and it's still stiff and it still has structure. You don't have to have a pastry bag. You can do this with a resealable bag and cut the tip, which is fine. I get my frosting and I go into the bag. I fold it back because I don't want frosting everywhere, and I actually use my hand to clean off the spatula, just like that. All right, and let me get my other colors ready. All right, so now on to the fun part. Let me show you how to hold a bag. So I twist it at the top. I am right-handed, so I hold with my right hand and I just sort of guide with my left. You don't want to put your hand here because it's going to warm up the buttercream. So let's start with the pumpkins. I'm going to do a very simple design. I'm just going to pipe around the outside, and now I'm just going to do some lines. Like that. I'm going to grab some green for the stem, and look how simple that is. So there's one of my cookies. Now let's do a leaf. I'm going to use red. I'm going to draw a single line down the center. And now I'm just going to do like little leaves, little loop like that. And then you can do the same thing in the yellow in different colors. So you have those fall leaves. All right, let me show you what I've done. All right, so my cookies are ready for my platter. Look at this. Look at this. Ready for Friendsgiving. All right, I'm gonna eat this one. You know my face doesn't lie, by the way. All those warming spices from the allspice, rounding off the bend with that maple. No more pies for Thanksgiving this year. We're doing Friendsgiving frosted cookies. Okay.